How stressful is life right now with this shutdown?
It's been incredibly difficult. You can feel the tension, and it's heavy, and it hurts.
From the standpoint of a single working dad, how is all of this impacting life at home?
That's a great question. It's hard enough just going to work. Now when you add in not getting paid, that's when you just like multiply the level of pressure. And you know, air traffic is a safety sensitive position. The margin of error is zero. So if you think about it, it's pressure on top of pressure when you don't know exactly when you'll get paid based on politics.
And are you making enough door dashing to cover the tuition bill?
No. No, not even close. I would have to dash more than I'm willing to in order to manage that.
They shut it down! They shut us down! No pay! No work! We serve! You pay! Families waiting! They'll still do! Pay the truth! Forward through!
It's day, I think, 29 of being furloughed, and Halloween's in 2 days, and I'm just now going to get my kids' Halloween costumes because I have not had the funds for that. Like, just genuinely, we have not had the funds for that. The only reason I'm even able to do this now is because I had to pull from my retirement, and mind you, I've only been there less than a year. So I asked them, what do y'all want? And they're showing me things, and I'm like, we can't get the $30 costume y'all are wanting right now because there's 4 of y'all. It's not feasible. We don't know how long this is gonna last. And I'm just so like ashamed, like I did something wrong. And it's so hurtful because I get the cause, I get the reason why. And I know people are going through a lot with SNAP benefits being possibly cut. I get it. But most, if not all, I'm willing to bet federal employees before this did not receive SNAP benefits or any type of assistance, period. And now with everything happening, and you know it takes forever to get, trust and believe, like I worked myself up to get here where I'm at. I've been on food stamps. I did everything right, everything right. I was in the army. I've done everything. I'm 31 years old and I have 5 months left on my master's. Like, I've done everything right. The circumstances I've had to deal with in life, I beat those odds time and time again. And nobody cares. Nobody sees us at all. It's like we're put to the back burner. And now everybody's making a fuss because of that going away, which again is horrible, should not, period. Like, point blank, I've been on there. I get it. You do what you gotta do, but shit, what about us? What about us? What about us? We have kids. Like I said, we're not getting benefits. We're not. And the money's not coming in. Apply for jobs, bro. You don't think that's what I'm doing. You don't think that's what I'm doing. They don't call. And you heard my credentials. I have so many freaking certifications in IT, CCNA, Security Plus, you name it, I have it. Go Uber. If y'all didn't hear my story about my cars, you would know why I can't Uber and stuff right now. I'm in a freaking rental car. And I'm not crying because I can't buy the $30 Halloween costume. That's not the point. The point is, like, anyways, let's go to Walmart. Let's try to find a weekend find.
So it's day 31 of the government shutdown. I haven't been at work for 31 days. I haven't received a paycheck since October the 10th. You know, it's hard. It's tough for federal employees right now to not get a paycheck when we could be working and earning a living and serving the American people. But the Republicans, and Mike Johnson especially, they don't want that. Speaker Johnson hasn't held a session of Congress since September 19th. He sent all his Republican colleagues home. And guess what, folks? They're all getting paid. They all keep getting a paycheck. They've been on vacation for 6 weeks now, and they've been paid by us, the American taxpayer. It's not right. He should have called them back weeks ago, before the government shutdown, where they could have debated and extended the ACA subsidies and made sure the SNAP program's not going to go bankrupt starting tomorrow. Folks here in North Carolina and around the country, 42 million people, won't have any money to buy food. The U.S. Department of Agriculture needs to release that $6 billion to the states so they can put that money on the EBT cards of these folks that are recipients of SNAP. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough month for these folks. You know, Donald Trump said he was going to make America great again. Well, I don't know what great is when he won't even feed the population, his own population. And people are going to be hungry. And a large portion of that 42 million are young children. I can't think of anything more cruel and vile. That's on top of the other things he's doing. You know, jet setting on his vanity tour in Asia while the government shut down. Shut down. Federal employees haven't been at work. Over 750,000 federal employees haven't been on the job since October 1st. While this president is on his big vanity tour, crisscrossing Asia from Japan down to China and Malaysia, trying to get deals for himself and his family. Donald Trump and this administration are for themselves and the billionaires, and don't let them fool you like they're helping the American people, because they're not. Sending the National Guard to American cities when there's no crisis, letting people starve to death, not extending health care for people that need it, and if they don't, come January 1st, the ACA, aka Obamacare subsidies in some cases are going to quadruple. In most cases they're going to double, but some places like Wheeling, West Virginia, those families are going to be paying around $4,000 a month for health care. That's not affordable. And they're right, the system's broken, but the Republicans aren't offering any solution to make it cheaper, because they don't want health care for anyone. They don't want it, they don't care, they got plenty of money for health care. So folks, wake up, man. We got to save our country. We got to. It's getting bad, and it's going to get worse, I'm afraid, before it gets better. So get out, make your voices heard, raise some hell before it's too late.
Day 27 of the government shutdown, and I learned something new today. I'm Shannon. I'm an American living in Germany, working as a DoD civilian who is not getting paid for the last 19 days of work that I have done. Or at least I'm not getting paid yet, right? There are approximately 11,000 German nationals that are working on military installations providing support to the U.S. military. They are bus drivers, they work in our cafeterias, they work at our commissaries, they work at our exchange, that's like our Target, Walmart. They work at all these different places to help the military installation run smoothly. Because they are funded by our U.S. government, they also were not getting paid. So the German government has stepped in and is going to pay these 11,000 workers their wages until basically our government, the US government, can get their shit together. So why am I telling you this? Why should you care, right? It's Germany, it's not on the US, why should we care? I'm telling you this because the implications of a US government shutdown, the financial repercussions of that are way broader than just the DoD civilians, contractors, and military not getting paid. This is impacting people's lives in other countries that are providing support to our U.S. military. And here I am, 19 days later, 19 days worth of work that I have not yet gotten paid for, will not, and don't know when I'm going to get paid for. And I can guarantee you when they finally do all that back pay, it's going to be screwed up. They are probably going to put all of that pay on one paycheck, which bumps you into a higher tax bracket, which means we have to pay more in taxes. Like, this is not okay. I'm showing up to work and not getting paid. While Congress, all of Washington really, is gone, I think for the whole week, doing nothing and still getting paid. If I have to show up to work along with thousands of other people, we should get paid, my friend. How about you show up in Washington and do your fucking job?
You might think that this is just a video to watch or things are simple, but what I can assure you is that things are not simple at all, because so many workers, especially these air traffic controllers, have started to show up to their workplaces, which is causing a lot of delays into airports. Anyway, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and like this video. And leave a comment below, because there's some people who are blaming each other some Republicans are saying that this shutdown has caused by Democrats, and others are saying that it's Trump to be blamed, but this is not time of blaming each other, but it's a time for a person or people who are in a good position to solve this. You have to do it. You have to solve this as soon as possible, because Americans don't need those blames. Americans don't need those words. They need their salaries to come back. They need to keep on working while being paid. They need their good lives to come back. So please, if you are in a good position, do something as soon as possible, because Americans need you. They don't need to hear this came from this person, this came from no. What they need is to get their salaries back. So let's continue this video, and please watch this to the end. And
tonight, October 30th, there is going to be a period of time where you can't arrive at Orlando Airport because there are no air traffic controllers. Yep, none of these people are being paid. They're already overworked. We fired a bunch of them at the beginning of the Trump administration, and they're one of many types of federal workers that continues to have no pay. The average delay at LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark airports is 4 hours. Food stamps also expire in 48 hours. So the way things are going, American life is deteriorating very quickly, especially if you happen to be someone who's poor, which is 40 million people on SNAP, 16 million of whom are children. I'm rambling for a little bit, but you know the hurricane hunters that went into Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, which might be the strongest Atlantic hurricane we've ever seen? They weren't getting paid either. All of this has a trickle-down effect on the economy. You know, this is actual trickle-down economics. These people don't get paid. They can't feed their families. They can't put money away. They can't buy things. They can't feed the cycle. And that has knock-on effects on literally everyone else. And the exact same thing goes for SNAP. Someone who doesn't have SNAP benefits is no longer subsidizing Walmart. Walmart now has to raise prices on everybody else because they're no longer getting that SNAP money back. It's just all a long race to the bottom here is what I'm trying to tell you. So, not really sure what else to do but watch and wait.
Currently, all the controllers in the tower are working without a paycheck right now because of the government shutdown.
Clocking in even when they're not cashing out. For weeks, thousands of air traffic controllers, they've had to continue working during the government shutdown. But today marks their first full day working with a $0 paycheck.
You want these guys to show up to work every day and focus solely on their job. You want them to make sure that the safety is there. Every time somebody gets on an airplane, they go point A to point B as safe as possible. That's what they're there to do. And now you're adding this stress in of how do I pay my bills?
It's a stress many Americans are sharing, and in this case, it's making traveling more stressful. According to the U.S. Transportation Secretary, nationwide, 44% of flight delays Sunday and 24% Monday were due to air traffic control staffing issues, compared to 5% of delays overall so far this year.
My brother does a lot of travel for business, and he's been seeing over the last few weeks, it's just like every single flight that he's been on has been delayed.
In Philly, we're told employees are coming into work, so no major issues yet. But as the shutdown continues and workers affected look to save money on childcare or take on a side hustle, travelers are concerned any additional staff shortage could really mess up holiday travel.
They're not getting paid, they're not going to want to show up, and there's going to be delays, there's going to be problems in the airport, and they're not going to be able to have an income for the families, and it's all going to go down.
Adding to the issue, the country was already short more than 3,000 air traffic controllers pre-shutdown. And the Transportation Secretary says the lack of pay isn't helping recruitment.
Just ask him to end the shutdown so we can receive a paycheck.
Today, as members of the Air Traffic Controller Union handed out pamphlets at Philly's airport informing people of the situation, they told me, and anyone who would listen, they're happy to work, they just want to get paid.
Do you get on a plane if an air traffic controller hasn't been paid in weeks? So this weekend, U.S. airports reported over 20 air traffic controller situations in one day. 20. So on Saturday alone, there were so many air traffic controller shortages at a Los Angeles airport, they had to temporarily stop service altogether. And it covered most of Southern California. Then by Sunday, 6 other airports were dealing with shortfalls. And listen, the Trump administration is warning people it's gonna get worse. So let me piece together for y'all what's happening, right? Air traffic controllers and TSA are essential, but they don't get paid during the shutdown. Meanwhile, your congressman and your senator, who apparently ain't essential at all, still cashing checks while refusing to do their jobs. Make it make sense. How long do y'all really expect air traffic controllers and TSA folks to keep working without getting paid? Would you? I know I couldn't. That's some stupid shit. The shutdown has real consequences for hardworking Americans, but Trump and the Republicans, they don't care. Because y'all, when government doesn't work, rich people still win. Rich people don't rely on public systems. They can fly private, skip TSA altogether, and never feel the pain. So while the rich are comfortable, the rest of us are trusting our lives to people who are not being paid, who got to think about how they're going to survive during this time frame. Flying right now is a dangerous business. And if they don't wake you up, I don't know what will, because I've been telling you since January to stop getting your ass on planes.
1 million workers, no pay, $900 billion for defense. They call it discipline. I call it capitalism. Welcome, everyone, to the richest country that can't afford to pay its own employees. No war, no natural disaster. Just two political parties, both owned by billionaires, arguing over how to spend your money. They say the U.S. government has shut down. Let's be clear, it hasn't shut down. It's just stopped serving you. The part that serves Wall Street, weapons dealers, and lobbyists, that part is doing just fine. Since October 1st, 2025, the so-called leader of the free world has been paralyzed. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers sent home without pay. Another million ordered to keep working, also unpaid because they're essential. In America, essential apparently means indispensable but disposable. And while Congress naps, reality bites. In Florida, in Maryland, you see federal employees waiting in food bank lines. The same people who once processed taxes, now waiting for canned beans. If irony could be taxed, Washington would finally have a balanced budget. What's the White House response? Fiscal discipline. Right. Discipline for the poor, indulgence for the Pentagon. Museums closed, national parks closed, meals for low-income families suspended. But the war machine, oh, it's still fully funded. $900 billion strong. You can stop paying teachers, but don't you dare delay a missile. This isn't a malfunction. It's a mirror. A government that treats paychecks as optional and corporate subsidies as sacred isn't a democracy. It's a corporation with a flag. And yet they call it freedom. Freedom for lawmakers to collect their pay. Freedom for defense contractors to count their profits. Freedom for public servants to line up for charity and call it patriotism. Ask who's responsible, and you'll hear the loudest silence in Washington. Because in American capitalism, accountability disappears faster than ethics. So yes, the government is closed, but Wall Street, open. The stock market still smiles, the money still flows, and the powerful still win. Because here, even when the government stops working, power never takes a day off.
It's the 31st of October, the end of the month. For most people, it is salary day. But if you work for the US government, there's a good chance you're not getting paid. The world's biggest economy has run out of money. It cannot even pay its own staff because the US government has shut down. This shutdown has entered its 5th week. That means no salary for more than 1 million US military personnel, thousands of air traffic controllers, and even some lawmakers. They may not get their paychecks. The US Department of War, that's America's defense ministry, has been forced to accept a donation just to cover salaries of the active troops on the front lines. We're talking about a $30 trillion economy that is struggling to pay its bills. Here's how America got here.
That is it. By the way, it's not only the air traffic controllers, because even some lawmakers, some military people are not getting paid. Imagine if all of them decide to stop working. Where would be America going? Imagine. Military people stop working, lawmakers stop working, air traffic controllers stop working. Imagine the situation. Anyway, thank you for watching. It was good to be with you in this video, and credit goes to the owners of the clips I used in this video. Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, I still remember reminding you to subscribe. Consider subscribing, and let's at least get where we are heading to as soon as possible. Anyway, let's meet in another episode. Bye.